Hello explorers, I hope you are well. Today is a sit down and talk video. I'm going to be talking a lot about me, and I don't particularly like talking about me, but I've got to tell a story, and I hope that this story inspires you and also is thought-provoking. So let's get into the video. A couple of weeks ago, a viewer by the name of Abigail contacted me and said that she wants to quit her job to travel and become a freelancer, a remote worker, just like myself. And I'm always a little bit hesitant in giving people advice because I think you've got to make that decision yourself. It's never an easy decision to make. But anyway, I emailed her back and asked her to think about two questions, and it's those two questions that I want to focus on in this video today. I asked myself these two questions when I was 39 years old, and I had a very difficult decision to make. My two options in life at the time were to either continuing to work for the employer that I was working for and get onto the property ladder, buy a house and just do what everybody else does, and count down to my retirement and hopefully get early retirement so that I could do some travelling when I'm 55 or 60 years old. And that was one option. The other option was to leave my job and travel around the world and just see what direction this journey took me in. So it took me a long time to make a decision. It took me a year and a half, which is not surprising for me. It does take me a long time to make a decision up, but I think it's really important that you give yourself that time so that you can make a really well-informed decision and make sure that it's the right decision for you. The first question that I asked Abigail, and I also asked myself, were where do you see yourself in 5 years' time based on your situation right now? And for me, it was a little bit of a depressing kind of thought. I would be working in the same job. I didn't want promotion. I didn't want to go into management. I didn't want the extra stress from that for the little amount of pay that it got. And I could just see myself getting more unwell because I'm literally sat down all through the day, not doing any exercise in the evening, just literally going home and watching TV. The future wasn't what I wanted. And I didn't want to be 70 or 80 years old thinking about, I wish I'd have done this, I wish I'd have done that. I just wanted to go out there and do it. So the next thing you have to do is ask yourself that question of, okay, so you don't want that future. So what do I want in the future? Where do I want to be in 5 years' time? And I thought about that a lot. And that's really over the period of probably 12 months, 15 months, where I made the decision not to buy a house and stay in the job, but actually to leave and travel and see which direction that took me. Because I think if you make big decisions in life, you do go on a different path, and you need to do that every so often in your life. It took me 24 years to make that big decision, and it wasn't an easy decision to make. So I asked myself, where do I see myself in 5 years' time? And this is it. I saw myself as traveling around the world, being a freelancer, self-employed, and just traveling, working remotely. And it's exactly how things have turned out. And it's just amazing how those pieces of the jigsaw just come together and you end up being in the situation that you wanted to be in. And that's due a lot of the time due to having goals and planning for those goals. I think that's so important in life. It's something that I didn't do for 24 years. I never thought about goals or what I wanted to achieve in life. It was only when I got to 39 years old where I quizzed myself and asked those questions. I contacted Abigail and said, I need you to think about your answers to these questions because it will help you create goals and send you in the direction that you want to go in. It might take her 2 weeks to make that decision, it might take her 2 years. It doesn't matter as long as you're thinking about it and you're working towards your goals and you're working towards a type of life that you want to lead. What I would love you to do this weekend is to spend some time on your own, maybe in your room or walking, and just ask yourself those two questions. Where do you see yourself based on your current situation in 5 years' time? And where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Have a think about it. Explorers, I hope that this video has made you think. If you've got any questions about anything that I've discussed, please do ask them in the comments. And I just want to thank you for your support. It has been amazing. You know, the last 2 years have been incredible. I've loved sharing my travels with you all, and together we're building a fantastic little community. And the support that you give each other in the comments and the positivity in the comments is incredible. So thank you for that. And I shall be back very, very soon with a new video from Prague in the Czech Republic. Until then, take care of yourselves and don't forget to explore.